Kid here. Welcome back to the Opinion Spot, guys. And this is actually a special opinion spot. It's not only a special opinion spot because it's actually the last opinion spot for the year 2020. But I also have a guest with me, and you probably know him, Mr.Multiverse.
Hey everybody, and it's this top 10 list is kind of accurate because we all want this year to be shot off into space.
So guys, today we're doing a top 10 list. Me and Multi, we're doing a top 10 list. We're gonna do our top 10 favorite cosmic Marvel heroes. When you think about the Marvel side of the...
Oh, that's me, sorry.
No, when you think about the cosmic universe of the Marvel, you're probably thinking of characters from your Silver Surfers to your Beta Ray Bills, you know, to the whole 9 yard of your Guardians, everybody like that. Personally, to me, the cosmic side of the Marvel universe does not get exploited enough or get exposed enough. When they do it, they usually always knock it out of the park. Somebody who's really been taking advantage of the cosmic side of the Marvel universe is Donny Cates, who is, if you have not read anything cosmic level from Mr. Cates, you should. He has been murdering it with that stuff, so definitely. So me and Multi, we're gonna go down. We're gonna start from 10 and work our way to our number 1. He'll do his number 10 and I'll do my number 10 and vice versa like that. So being that Multi is the guest, Multi, who is your number 10 on your list?
My number 10, I'm sorry, I was in the middle of texting the new girlfriend.
Okay.
Cuban girl, what can you do? Anyway, my number 10 is a classic. I guess you'd say like he is the progenitor for Marvel cosmic stuff, and that is Mar-Vell, aka Captain Marvel.
The original.
Yep, the original Mar-Vell. And people are thinking, why Mar-Vell? And like I said, the reason why I picked Mar-Vell is because in a way he started the Marvel cosmic. Really, I mean, you could make the argument like, oh, the Fantastic Four or Silver Surfer, but really, it didn't feel like Marvel cosmic stuff was a thing until Mar-Vell showed up.
That's pretty much true. He was the Kree that first came to Earth. He was there as kind of like in disguise, and then he actually turned against his own kind to protect us humans. And then, of course, he died of cancer. Then they brought him back. He had a son. All that good stuff that came out of it. So, a good choice. Good choice. For my number 10, guys, I go with Mantis. Mantis, to me, first of all, I think she doesn't get enough credit that she deserves. Basically, think of Mantis as Bruce Lee mixed with a Jedi. So Obi-Wan and a Bruce Lee, because they only touched the surface of her in the MCU. Yes, she's able to, if she's an empath and she can read you, but there's so much more to Mantis than meets the eye that they did not touch, and that's always been my problem with especially the Guardians in general in the MCU. So James Gunn, it was great that we saw Mantis, but they have not touched the surface with Mantis in terms. If you look at her comic side, her comic counterpart, your jaw will probably drop. You're like, how come they didn't put all this in the Guardians movie? You'd be totally amazed.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to forget that Mantis is kind of like a cosmic version of Mary, the mother of Jesus.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And she recently came back in Empire.
Right.
So, my thing, like, Mantis, again, it's kind of a shame, and again, like, it's kind of a running thing with MCU where they only take bits and pieces, but I get it's another universe and you can't cram everything in it. But Mantis is a really good pick, man.
Yeah, definitely Mantis. I've always liked Mantis. The first time I read her, I was like, okay, who's this? And, you know, her being able to project her mind to another body that could be halfway across the universe. And I'm like, that's some powerful shit right there. I'm like, and she's a martial artist, and I'm like, ooh, okay. And like Multi said, guys, you can't cram everything in, but it just feels like they just took the empathic power that she has, but she has so many other powers. But yeah, definitely Mantis is my number 10. So we move on to our number 9, and who you got for number 9, Multi?
Number 9, we talked about Mar-Vell, so we're going to talk about his daughter, Harlevale, aka Quasar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Quasar, she's a lot of fun. Again, I don't think she gets enough love, but thank you, Donny Cates, for giving her a huge role in Guardians of the Galaxy. Donnie clearly knows his shit because he got Farla to a T. And I'll tell you what, Chris, I was very close to putting Wendell Vaughn Quasar in here. But the thing about Farla, or Tharla, I can never pronounce her name.
Phala.
Phala, thank you. Mm-hmm. You're just gonna let me this whole video mispronouncing the name, weren't you, if I didn't say anything?
I got you covered, don't worry.
Yeah. So, why I chose her over Wendell was because there's just so much to her. She's a little more fierce, she's a little more bold, and she knows when to get into a fight and when not to. Whereas Wendell, he was like, dude, I'm Quasar, I can do anything. Oh yeah, like you can totally beat a nihilist, right, Wendell?
Yeah. I mean, Wendell can be a hothead. He can be a little hothead. I mean, his background with, SHIELD training and things like that. But yeah, he's kind of, I can see where you're going from that.
And you know what's funny? And maybe they've done this, and maybe I just missed it. You can correct me on this, Chris. Mm-hmm. But why has she met her half-brother Hulkling?
Has she met him?
Yeah, they're related.
Yeah,
they both have the same dad.
Yeah, have they met? I think they have. I don't think they have. I don't think Hulkling's even met Genisville, his half brother, Phala's brother. Yeah, because Marvel, for all those who don't know, Marvel had 2 children, Phala and Genus, and Phala is actually in a relationship with Moondragon. Actually, one of my favorite couples. Yeah, I don't think they've ever met.
Yeah, well, there's another reason why Mar-Vell is my number 10, because he's literally the progenitor from like 3 cosmic heroes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Whoa. My number 9, guys, on the list, will go to actually Drax, the Destroyer. I like Drax, and I've been rolling with Drax before he looked like Green Kratos, before he got that body. There have been different versions of Drax, if you know your Drax history. But the Drax that I like is the Green Kratos one. That body that was created for him was meant to kill Thanos, which he has done. He ripped Thanos' heart out. Read Annihilation, you'll see it in there. He was originally human. He was killed by, his body was destroyed by Thanos, and then these ancient Thanos' father actually took his soul and put it into the green muscular body that you see now. And then of course later on they started to change it. As you know, if you watch Guardians, you see they really gave him more of an alien background, that he's not human. He wasn't human, but he still had a daughter. and it makes me wonder, will we ever see that special daughter that I'm talking about? She is on my list. I won't let, you'll probably heard me say her name, but I do love Drax. He's not my favorite of the Guardians. There's somebody else that I love over everybody else on the Guardians than Drax, but I've always given Drax his credit from, if you're going with the big android looking Drax that looked like a souped up Piccolo. That's the way I always looked at him, like or the Drax that you know now, like I said, who looks like green Kratos. I've always been a big fan of his, and Marvel recently let former professional wrestler CM Punk write a Drax comic, and it's basically Drax. He had crash landed on this planet, and he's now in like a galactic MMA fighting. It was actually really fun. It was fun. It was a fun story. It was quick, and I enjoyed CM Punk's writing for the most of it. But yeah, it was fun. But other than that, later on we saw Drax become like a pacifist. Like he wasn't killing anybody. It was just like, whoa, okay. And this is when Cates, I think, had took over. So it was like, whoa. But it was, Drax is also one of my favorites. You like Drax?
I like Drax, and don't worry, we're going to be talking about him later because he's on my list too.
Okay. So who's your number 8?
My number 8 is someone we're going to be talking about later. And there was only so many cosmic heroes, we're bound to talk about him again. My number 8 is Moondragon.
Okay. Heather.
Yeah, Heather. It's a very interesting, and Jim Starlin has a way with making these cosmic heroes, because when you say it out loud, like talking about the real origin for Drax and Moondragon, people give you this look of, what?
Right.
And good luck trying to explain out of Warlock.
Mm-hmm. He's on my list.
But Moondragon is a lot of fun. Again, I love her relationship with Darla, and she's very much like an underused character. People forget how powerful of a telepath she is. Like, she's on Jean's level. Yeah, she's on Jean's level, especially somebody who does not have any kind of... She learned how to expand her mind like that through like this cosmic monastery. They taught her how to do it. Like, her powers are somewhat natural. Like, how guys, you got that, they always talk about we don't tap into, like, there's a part of our brain we don't tap into. Kind of, she's able to tap into that. So yeah, Multi's right. She's a powerful telepath as well. I definitely agree with that. If I remember right, I think there was either an X-Men or Guardians comic, I can't remember which, where Jean was like probing Moondragon's mind, and Heather was like, no you don't, and just like hits back at Jean, and she's like, oh shit, what was that?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, she is Drax's daughter. For all those who don't know, guys, they're, like I said before, the story of Drax is weird, but she was also in the car with her dad when Thanos attacked, and he didn't kill her, but he killed her father. But yeah, her name is Heather Douglas, and she's been out in space. She's been a part of the Guardians. She was a part of the Avengers for a while. She's never made any kind of outside of the comic media, like movies or anything like that. But we did see her in the X-Men animated series, the first one. She makes a cameo in there when Apocalypse was going after all the psychics. She was in there. You could see her really in the back. You're like, oh, okay. She had her classic look. And she's a martial artist too, so that's also something I love about her. Yo, that's a good pick, dude. Good pick.
Yeah. So who's your number 7, Chris?
I mean, my number 8.
Oh, number 8. Sorry.
Yeah. Number 8 goes to Gladiator. Karnak. I think. Yeah, there we go. When I first saw him, I was like, okay, the costume. But it was the mohawk that caught me, because I was like, okay, I do love a good mohawk, and that hawk was just styling. I'm like, okay, who's this purple dude with this mohawk? And Gladiator has always been. He's a character for me, guys, that I look at and I'm like, you know what? I like him, but how Marvel uses him, it's good for me. I don't want him overexposed. When he's needed for something or an event or a guest star, that's great. Personally, I don't think I need to see him in like his own series unless it's a good writer doing it. That's just me. He is basically Superman-esque. He is the last of his kind. His kind is called Stragonians. I believe that's Stragonians. And what's really interesting about Gladiator, guys, that you probably don't know, is that his powers work differently than like Superman. He is a Superman-esque character, but if his confidence level is not very high, his strength gets depleted. Like it'll like if he feels less confident, he's not as strong as he's supposed to be. One of my favorite things he's done was when he fought Vulcan. Scott and Havoc's brother for the throne of basically the Shi'ar. And even though Vulcan won, he later took over, and Gladiator was the embassy emperor of the Shi'ar Empire. So it was like, wow, look at that. What happened?
He's still king, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still king. So, but yeah, Karnak he's a good character. I really like him. Like I said, a lot of people probably didn't know about him, especially if you didn't read comics. But you saw him on the X-Men, the animated series. You're like, yo, who is this dude? This is a dude tossed the Juggernaut from Scotland, and he landed. It's like, okay. And I love that too. It's like when he's like, why are we messing with Mr. Hairday? And he just and Mark Kane just hit him and didn't phase him, and he just threw him. And then Jubilee says, whoa, I never seen anybody do that. And he's like, and what did Gambit say? Nobody from Earth. And it was like, so it was like, yeah, it was that was, if that's your first introduction to Gladiator, respect. But for me, reading the comics for as long as I have, I was exposed to him real quick. And, he was first appeared in Fantastic Four. He didn't appear in, X-Men or something like that. So, but Gladiator's been around for a long time. Like I said, I like him in spurts. I don't need him overexposed, anything like that. When he's needed, he's needed. And that's one thing I like about him.
And what was it like? Even like when you're talking about his hair, like people forget his hair is like it can cut through titanium.
Yeah, yeah. That mohawk is something special.
It's that sharp. So,
yeah.
Not someone you want to mess with, and we'll be talking about him later because he's on my list too.
Right. So who's your number 7?
Number 7 is Gamora.
Ooh, deadliest woman in the galaxy. All right.
Yep, and she earned that title, being trained by Thanos, being the granddaughter or daughter of Thanos. Now they retcon that into the Marvel comics.
Yep.
This is a woman who is no powers, pure, just if you want to look up Killing Machine in the encyclopedia, there'd probably be a picture of Gamora on there.
Gamora kind of.
Dangerous, she's deadly. Someone that if you want to look at it like there have been like major superheroes and villains who've been like, I don't want to fight her.
I look at her as like a combination of like the space Red Sonja in a sense, or if Xena was in space. That's the best way to describe her, kind of.
Yeah, that's the best way to look at her.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way of looking at her. So Multi gave his 7. I'm gonna give my number 7. Adam Warlock is my number 7 on the list. I'm not gonna go down this dude's origin. Let's just say he was created by a group of people called the Beehive. They were trying to make the perfect specimen. They kind of made him. Adam Warlock was like huge in the 90s, big time in the 90s. He was probably one of his biggest hoorahs was during the Infinity Gauntlet run, things like that. Just everything about this guy is just like on another echelon level. And even when he got the soul gem, a part of him, he didn't really need it because he was already he was a badass as it is. They constantly make him over. They'll de-age him, make him younger, or things like that. But by the same thing it replies, he's still like the perfect being. And and is he a character I would want to see in the MCU? Yeah, we kind of got a hint that he's somewhat coming. We saw his cocoon with the Collector, so yeah. But it'd still be cool to see him. And like I said, anytime there's a space event, he always plays a big part in it. So definitely Adam Warlock makes my number 7 on the list.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. The problem is that one of the problems I have with the MCU is that we're never going to get Thanos and Adam on screen.
Right.
Yeah.
That.
That's one of the drawbacks I have with the MCU is that we're never going to get that dichotomy on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people say, "Oh, Iron Man's the big villain for Thanos." I'm like, do you read comics?
Right. So, okay, we did our number 7. So, Multi, who's your number 6?
Alright, my number 6 is Drax.
Okay.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, everyone seems to think that, they changed Drax to look like Dave Bautista. I'm like, well, not really, because the Drax who Bautista took the form of, that Drax was born from the old, big, hulking Drax, and was reborn right before Annihilation.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't read that miniseries, so I don't blame them.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially what had happened was Drax was on a prison ship that crash-landed in Alaska, and it turns out that the hulking Drax was like imperfect. He was like an assassin, but he wasn't born right.
Mm-hmm.
So when that Drax was killed by a villain by the name of Pybok, he went to like a metamorphosis and became like what he was supposed to be, an assassin. And just he took on that Kratos look.
Mm-hmm.
And this just kind of brutal, like he basically, like if you read that Drax miniseries, that comic basically has Drax, like you don't think Kratos, you think Rambo.
Yeah, I only say Kratos because of the look, how Kratos, but definitely Rambo because he does have like the big knives and everything. I'm like, yeah, Rambo.
Yeah, he's brutal. He's got a heart, but like at the same time, he's one track mind, but you can't fault him for it. That's just how Thanos' dad made him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, like we're saying, guys, like he was made to kill Thanos. That body was made for that. And yeah, like a lot of us, we all know with the MCU, they have watered down these characters in terms of depowering them, like nerfing them, because Drax should have been able to handle his own against even Ronan, but he didn't. So there are some cases like you're like, but don't fault me on that, guys, because I still thought when they casted Dave Bautista as Drax, I was like, that's perfect casting. That's perfect casting. I don't hate them for that, and I love what Dave Bautista said about when his agent said he got the role. Like he broke down and cried. I was like, that's just dedication. That much he likes that character. And I don't even mind like the alien origin that they gave him. Like now his people's like really kind of like you say something and they really kind of like, wait, that doesn't make sense, or things like that. It's still fun. It's still good fun, and Dave does a good job as Drax, even though it may be not the Drax that maybe fans want, but it still works. It still works.
Yeah.
Do you like Dave Bautista as Drax?
Oh yeah, I thought he was a great pick for the role, and the fact that he auditioned like what 6 times, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Just kind of shows like the amount of dedication he's willing to do.
Mm.
And to put on all that makeup, which takes 5 hours to do?
Like 5 or 6. I think it's longer than that, but yeah, all the makeup is just crazy. He has to get up like early just to get it on. So yeah, I dedication. And has never complained about it either. I've never heard him complain about it.
Yeah. With the paycheck MCU gives, you don't complain.
Yeah. So my number 6, guys, is somebody that Multi had already talked about, but I'm using the original version of this character, and yeah, it is Quasar, quote unquote, the protector of the universe. Wendell. Like I said, I grew up with Wendell as Quasar. So when I hear people say Quasar, I immediately think of him first. He has the quantum bands. These basically think of it as it was created by this ancient being in the galaxy. So think of these bands. If anybody loves Space Ghost, his power bands. Think of those just souped up times 100. Like that's how powerful they are. And he was also, Wendell's also been, he was security at Stark Industries. He also has SHIELD training. He was a SHIELD agent for a while. And after he started realizing what he can do with these bands, he felt like, Earth is just not enough for me. He wanted to go out and protect the universe. Hence why he's called the protector of the universe. But he can be cocky. He's very headstrong, and sometimes that's his downfall. But I also like that. Sometimes I like characters who have this power, but they still have humanness to them, and they make mistakes. And Wendell has made some mistakes over time, but this is a guy who can take out a whole armada by himself if he wanted to. He's super fast. Like the quantum bands do so much for him, and he can move across the galaxy light speed times that. Like he can get across the galaxy real quick. I remember him, and I remember when he was a part of a clique of some of the most powerful during the Thanos and Perviat storyline. Him, Gladiator, Beta Ray Bill, Silver Surfer, and I believe Ronin. Those 5 led this were a team, and a lot of us were calling them like the Galactic Avengers, but it was crazy. But yeah, he is a character I would want to see. I know there's a lot of people that have asked Mr. Gunn, like, how can you put this character in it? And I think Mr. Gunn has always said he wanted Star-Lord to be the only person from Earth at the time, but it's time to start just saying fuck it. Okay, let's put these characters in.
Yeah, I have no doubt that he is going to get maybe a Disney Plus show at least.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I would not mind seeing Quasar get some kind of Disney Plus. I would love to see a space Disney Plus series. That'd be good. I think it would work better for him as a TV series than as a movie. But as we all know, the Disney Plus series will incorporate into the movie, so it's not like we won't see him. But yeah, definitely Quasar makes my list. I like Fela. Don't get me wrong, I like her, but I don't consider her Quasar. I consider her under her other names. But she's great though. Don't get me wrong. like I said, anything Donny Cates has touched, read it. I guarantee you will not be disappointed with that man. And me and Multi have met that man, so trust me when we tell you, like, yeah. So trust me.
I'm shorter than he is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So trust me, guys. Yeah, he's Marvel's gem. He's Marvel's gem, and whenever that guy touches, it's like, damn, that was good. You know, his Thor right now is just like whoa. You know, so definitely somebody up there. So who you got for number 5?
Number 5 for me is someone we talked about, and that's Gladiator.
Okay.
Gladiator is a dude, like you said, he's always used sparingly, but when he's used right, it's awesome. It's very cool to see, like, because this was a dude who was, at first, he was a guy who was just trying to protect the throne, but then he's put in charge of a whole empire.
Right.
He was like, I didn't want to do this. And it's kind of fun to watch this guy who has been a soldier all of his life just be thrown into this position of being an emperor. But one thing he didn't want. So the other thing is, it's cool to see like how his powers play out and see him just go toe to toe with some other big Marvel characters. I'm surprised we never got a fight between him and Sentry or Blue Marvel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the times him and Thor have thrown down, it's amazing.
Right, yeah. It's just...
Yeah, what was it? Like, I'm trying to remember what character had come, like, there was an event where Gladiator came down, and someone insulted him, and he knocked that fool half across the country, and was like, anyone else want to mouth off to me today?
I think I know what you're talking. I can't remember it either. Oh my god, I know what you're talking about. I do know what you're talking about. Jesus, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Bringing the X-Men.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Logan who mouthed off him, and he just launched him into orbit.
Yeah, I think it was. And let's not forget, he also has a son. He has a son, Kid Gladiator. You know, who's just as strong as his dad, just without the restraints at times.
Yeah, but if I remember right, he's not considered like the heir to the throne because, like, legal reasons, I think.
Yeah, I think for legal reasons, yeah, that's true. Okay, so...
who you got for number 4?
My number 5? My number 5 is Moondragon. Not gonna repeat too much, guys. Like, I love Heather. I do feel we may see her or some shape or form in the MCU. You know, it could be we could see her during that holiday special. You know, a version of her. That holiday special we could see Heather, or they may change her name, but still be like, yeah, that's Moondragon. You know.
You know, it'd be kind of interesting is if, like, during the holiday special or the new Guardians movie, it's revealed that, you know, Drax's origin was that he was human. Maybe, like, when he transformed, he was turned into an alien. His mind was altered.
Ah, okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah, like, he's just been implanted with, like, false memories this whole time.
Okay. That could be good. I would actually go with that. That'd be pretty boss. What do y'all guys think? I love to hear what y'all thought about that one. Yeah, but like I said, you know, not too much. I'm not gonna go repeat anything that Multi said, but yeah, you know, Moondragon I definitely love. I love her power set. I love the combination of her mental powers as well as her physical powers. You know, this is a woman who went through all that training just to be able to be a powerful telepath like she is. It's kind of like, the way I look at it is kind of like one of my favorite Inhumans, which is oh shoot, I'm forgetting his name. Karnak, yeah. He never got his powers from the Terrigen Mist. That power, he learned that. He learned how to be able to find a weakness in anything and just tap into it. He never got like his powers from the Terrigen like all the other royal family. He's not like his cousins. So Moon Dragon is definitely, and yes, she can turn into a fucking dragon. I've seen her do it. So yeah, hence that's why her name is Moon Dragon. So moving on to number 4.
She can do that.
What happened?
I forgot she could do that.
Yeah, she could do that. So number 4. What you got for number 4?
Number 4, I had one character in mind, but I decided at the last second to do a quick switch out. Bit of a fake out for everybody. My number 4 is Black Bolt.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, King Boltagon.
Boltagon.
Yep. This is a dude who, like, when you think Inhumans, you think of this guy first and foremost.
That's true.
Yeah. And, yeah, you guys already know, Chris knows from the get-go that I don't like the Inhumans for a few reasons.
Yeah. He's not a big Inhumans fan, guys.
Well, it's not that I don't hate them. I hate what they did to the X-Men.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who is that way, I can understand that. I've heard, this is not the first time I've heard someone say, like, I don't like the Inhumans because of what they did to the X-Men. You know, I can understand that. You know, I can understand it. You know, but Black Bolt's definitely one of those guys you're like, oh shit. Like,
yeah. The moment he shows up, run.
Yeah, run.
Because, and I think what got me really like, okay, I remember why I like the Inhumans to an extent is because of, again, Donny Cates, Death of the Inhumans.
Mm-hmm.
But Black Bolt is literally a dude who went from being a slave to a king, and even for a short time ruling the guys who, like, enslaved him. He was the Kree Emperor for a short time.
Oh, that's right, he was. That's right, he was, yeah.
He is, and a lot of people like think, oh, he ain't powerful. Have you heard him? You don't hear him scream because he's literally got a voice strong enough to crack a moon. Yeah. Black Bolt is intelligent. He deals with a lot as king, especially when his species was being wiped out. Like in Death of the Inhumans, he's basically like, when he's faced with the Kree Empire that has slaughtered a vast majority of the Kree, I think the best moment was he's just shouting the names of the dead Kree at these warships and just bringing them down.
One of my favorite Black Bolt moments, guys. Well, it was a moment, but it was just funny because at one point, for all those who haven't been reading, or at one point, Black Bolt and Medusa had like separated for a while, and she was dating Johnny, and I'm like, damn, Johnny, like, what the hell? And
didn't you already ruin him and the thing in Alicia Masters a while ago?
Yeah, so basically, he, I guess, wanted to speak to, Black Bolt was like, kind of like, hinting that, he basically wanted, Johnny. He wanted to talk to Johnny, sign language and things. So Black Bolt is next to a candle. He's got a candle next to him. And basically he's implying to Johnny, like, look, I still love her. I'm not mad that she's with you. However, if you hurt her, and Black Bolt just takes his finger and the fire and is like, that's gonna be you. And I was like, okay. I was like, and he could do it too. It's like, as hot and as strong as Johnny is, he knows. Yeah, Black Bolt could do that to me if he wanted to. So I thought it was really funny, and that happened in Uncanny Inhumans. That's when that happened. That was pretty funny though.
Yeah, I make me remember that, where he was just basically telling him, yeah, and not a damn person on this planet could stop me from killing you.
Right. I thought that was hilarious. I cracked up when I read that, and I cracked up. I was like, yeah, that's funny. I was like, yeah, he'll do it. He'll definitely do it. But yeah, like I agree. You know, Black Bolt's definitely one of those type of characters. I thought it was ingenious of them to kind of do that with him. Like, okay, you think of some, you know, other characters that got like a sonic cry. You know, your Silver Banshees, your Black Canaries. They ain't shit compared to what this guy can do. This guy just whispers and something's falling. You know, he'll just whisper. And some of the coolest things I've seen was when T'Challa made him like a voice box made out of vibranium so he could talk. And still that was having trouble. Like, he was shattering almost the vibranium in his, he put like a voice box. You know, it was crazy. I was like, Jesus Christ, his voice is that strong. You know, so yeah, I can see why Black Bolt, definitely he's a good character. Hopefully we'll get a reboot of him and the Inhumans better than what that TV series did for them. Jesus Christ.
And remember, guys, in the comics right now, he's vastly depowered. His vocal cords were severed by the Kree.
That's right.
Yeah. So he can't talk anymore. He's used up all the remainder of his voice to get his revenge. He even blew Ronan's brains out.
See, guys, you see, the Kree ain't all that good. Like, if y'all thinking they good, oh, the Kree are good and the Skrulls are bad. No, Kree's just as dickish as the Skrulls are. And now that,
to be fair, was like a Kree sect who was like pretty much the equivalent of the Proud Boys for the Kree. And they were like, we're gonna make Hala great again.
Yeah.
And we're wipe out the Kree, wipe out the Inhumans and all that, and yeah, Black Bolt didn't take kindly to that.
So, you're number 4.
Yeah, your number 4.
Oh, my number 4. Yeah, my number 4.
Yeah.
My number 4 goes to Old Horseface himself, the Corbinite, Beta Ray Bill. Thank you, Mr. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting his name. Damn it, I'm forgetting his creator's name. How am I forgetting his fucking name? Damn it.
Come on, man.
Oh my, I'm brain farting on his name. Oh, god damn it. Shit.
Now you're making me forget too.
Okay, that's it. Okay, hold on, guys. I gotta look this up. Shit. God damn it. I can't believe it. I had this dude's. Oh shit. Okay.
We're totally professional on this channel. I hope you all know.
Yeah. God damn it. Okay. Okay. That pissed me off. I'm pissed now. Usually I know these creators' name by heart. Walter Simon. Fuck my. Never mind. Anyway. Okay. Thank you, Walt Simonson, for creating the character Beta Ray Bill, the Corbinite, who first appeared in Mighty Thor 337. This was a guy, alien, who was the last of his kind. His ship. And believe it or not, his ship is called Scuttlebutt. I'm not joking about that. He met Thor, he fought Thor, he bested Thor, and he was able to pick up Mjolnir. Odin saw that and was like impressed. You know, Odin's the type of guy that's very impressed when someone kind of bests his son or something like that, or do something, you know, and in return, what did Odin do for him? He created a hammer just like Thor, called Stormbreaker, and thus a brotherhood became like brothers. Thor and Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray has gone on many adventures. They've done a couple of miniseries with him. One of them was him trying to get revenge for his people that was killed by Galactus. As we all know, Galactus is not a villain, but he can't help what he does. And in doing so, Galactus actually took the essence of his planet and made a mate for Beta Ray. It's kind of sad what happened to Beta Ray as of now. Currently, I'm not going to spoil for anybody who's not reading Cates' run. Yeah, there's some shit that goes down in there that you're just like, oh, that's messed up.
Yeah, and now he told Thor, we're done, man.
Yeah, like that brotherhood, like that chain was broke. It's just like, oh Jesus. Like I said, everything you could think of that Thor can do with his hammer, Beta Ray can do with his. He has made appearances outside of the comics from the original Silver Surfer cartoon, where he had a very Irish accent. Not even joking about that. And
it was weird to me.
Yeah, it was weird. And of course he was in Planet Hulk, the animated movie. He replaced Silver Surfer in that because you could all know the reasons because of that. But it still was cool. It was still cool to see him there and doing his thing, and it was like, oh, look at that. It was good stuff right there. And of course, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, where I believe it was who was doing his voice there?
Stephen Bloom.
I think it was Steve Bloom. Yeah, it was Steve Bloom. And they took the Steel origin from the comics, which is great. Now we just need to see Horseface in the MCU, and I strongly believe we're gonna see this character real soon. I will not be surprised if we see him sooner than later. But I love Beta Ray. It's just his name just sounds really cool. He just has a real cool name too, Beta Ray Bill. It's like, okay, but when you see him, you're like, it sounds somewhat like humanoid. You would think, okay, this guy probably is human, probably human looking, but no, he's a horse alien. That's why we call him Horseface. But he's cool. He's good people.
And he's getting his first ongoing next year.
Yeah, he's getting an ongoing where now he's got an axe. He's got an axe now, because like I said, there's some shit went down and it's between him and Thor, and it's just like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and who he's fighting in that first issue? Then Fang Foom.
Yeah, Fang Foom. That's gonna be interesting. So, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is a character who you could make the argument kicked off the reboot of the Marvel Cosmic side, and hoping to see him in the MCU soon. Richard Ryder, aka Nova.
Ooh, I got him too. I haven't gotten to him yet, but yeah. What you think about Richard? How long you known Richard Ryder Nova for?
Well, old back issues of 90s comics of New Warriors, where I thought he was a dumb Green Lantern knockoff.
Yeah, that's when he was still a Nova guardsman. That's one thing I do love about that. I will say that distinguishing differences between the Green Lantern Corps and the Nova Corps is like there's a different level of power in each member. Like you start out as a corpsman and you work your way up, and the more you work your way up, the more access to the Nova Force you get and the power. I do like that though.
Yeah. But Nova didn't really start getting interesting for me until Annihilation.
Right.
Where, yeah, the Nova Corps was wiped out, and he given all this power. And still, even then, he was like, I don't deserve this because I'm a fuck up. and then he eventually goes on to rally the entire Marvel Cosmic side to fight the Annihilation Wave, and that gave him like a whole fan base behind him. He was one of the most powerful beings. It was cool to see him part of the Secret Avengers for a short time.
Yeah, that was real good.
And this is a dude who, when they fought, when he fought like other major characters, he could now take it to other like major powerhouses. Like, what was it, like during Civil War? He like knocked Tony on his ass.
Yeah. Civil War, when he came back, I remember that when he came back to he came back home because he's been in space for a long time. He wanted to come back. For those who don't know, Richard's from Long Island, so he wanted to go visit his family out on Long Island, and all of a sudden he runs into Tony and is like, yeah, things are different here now. You're like an Omega level power. Like, you can't be just going around, register. You need to register. Basically, Tony's like, you need to register. Your power is just way too strong. And Richard's like, the hell I do. Like, and that's when a fight started. And I think also that's where Tony actually told Richard who Spider-Man was, because Peter and Nova go back a long way, and he's like, whoa, Peter Parker, Spider-Man? I've worked with him like dozens of times, and I never knew that. It's pretty funny. And what he did to Annihilus, Jesus Christ.
He finished him.
Yeah. Nova definitely is a character I think we all want to see in the MCU. Don't get me wrong, guys, and I'll say my piece on it too. I don't hate, because everybody keeps thinking I hate Sam Alexander. I don't hate him. I don't hate him. What I don't like is how Marvel showcased him, like saying, this is Nova. And as a longtime Nova fan, like, motherfucker, no, that's not. That's some new Nova. Don't say that's Nova, because he's not the Nova Prime. Richard's the Nova Prime. Like, Sam Alexander comes from a different sector of Nova Corpsmen, but still, that's how they were presenting him, and I was like, don't do that. That's not how it is. I do like Sam Alexander, especially him on the Champions. It works well with him. So yeah, I can understand. So people, please don't think I hate Nova. I hate Sam Alexander. I don't hate him. I really don't. So what was that? That was your number 3. Okay, my number 3 is the deadliest woman in the galaxy, Gamora. Like Multi said, guys, this is a woman who's earned that motto. Like, that's not something she came up with herself. There's a reason why she's called that. Like, there's a serious reason why she's called that. Like I said, I look at a lot of strong females that I love, like your Red Sonjas, your Xenas. That's who I look. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how I look. She's like the cosmic Xena. She's a badass, and if she's coming after you, pray to whatever god you need to pray to, because she's gonna get you. It's not a case of she's not gonna get you. She's gonna get you. She's been, hell, we just talked about Nova. Her and Nova used to be an item, so she's, she is.
The depressing thing is for Star-Lord is that in Donny Cates' run, it's revealed that, yeah, Gamora is still in love with Richard.
Right. Yeah, so, when they were thinking, when they added her into the MCU, Zoe Saldana was not even close to my picks who I wanted to play Gamora. But having said that, and having watched her over time as this character, I'm like, it works. It does work. And she does a good job at balancing the character. Like, we could see her be this badass, and then we could see her be very, I don't want to say loving too much, but we could see a softer side to her, you know, but don't be on her bad side, you know. And that's things that I do love about Gamora. She had a mini series that Marvel had put out, and it was basically finding out she's not the last of her kind. She's not the last. There were other members, other male members of her race that she found. It was really touching to see kind of the emotion of realizing that you're not the last of your kind. You know, you're not the last. You know, it's like growing up in space and you realizing you're the last human. You know, it'd be like, and you're seeing all these different humanoid aliens and everything, but still they're aliens, and they're not. You're the last human. You know, that's kind of how you would feel the same way. So when you find other humans, you're gonna be probably break down like, oh my God, other humans. That's how Gamora was when she found these other. I'm forgetting her race name, but yeah, she was really happy. But she's a badass. Like, you can even throw in like a little bit of a Elektra. Like, she's like the cosmic Elektra as well. Like, you don't fuck with her. Like, don't fuck with her. You rather have her be an ally than an enemy. And I've seen her go through different looks over the years. And I've liked them all. I mean, they all have been different, but the one thing that has stayed the same with Gamora, she lives up to that code. The deadliest woman in the galaxy. And nobody can take that away from her. Or you'll die. I'm just saying. What was your feeling on when Zoe was casted as Gamora? Were you like, I'm gonna give it a shot, let's see where this goes?
It's kind of like, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny now because she's more known for that role than she is for her Star Trek role, which that was her first big thing, was Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, when she played Aurora.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny. But since then, I've been fine with it. She's proven herself to be a great actress.
Mm-hmm. So we move on to number 2, guys, on the list. And who do you have as your number 2?
My number 2 is the Herald of Galactus, the speedster of the Silver Sentinel himself, the Guardian of the Space Centuries, all of those good titles, the Silver Surfer.
Ooh, Norn Rad.
Yep. Here's a guy who Stan Lee is going on record to say it's his favorite character. Sorry, Spidey.
No, he's telling the truth, guys. Yeah, he's going on record to say that.
Yeah. You'd think it would be Spider-Man, right? But no, Stan Lee's favorite creation was Silver Surfer. Him and Jack Kirby making that character. And it's kind of funny. Did you ever hear the story, like, when they created that character, Chris?
Yeah, I heard a little bit. I don't know fully all of it, but I know what you're talking about. So explain it to the people here who...
Yeah, so for those who don't know the story, Stan Lee, when he was making the Galactus trilogy, basically had this thing called the Marvel method, where he was like, hey, put a guy out in the middle of the page and just draw something cool. So Jack Kirby drew the image of the Silver Surfer, and he sent the picture to Stan. He's like, who is that? He's like, oh, that's the Silver Surfer. We made a big villain, so he needs like a herald, right? And Stan, according to him, just fell in love with the character from then on out, because it gave him a chance to be like, I get to talk about, like, you know, cool, deep, you know, philosophy and whatnot, because apparently Stan was big into philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to do all that, and I think one of the major reasons why I love Silver Surfer is not because of, like, how powerful he is or whatever. It's more like he's such a product of Steve and Jack Kirby. Like, it's just a character only they could create, right?
Right.
Yeah. And when you look at, like, how he's been done, like, no one's ever, like, done the Silver Surfer dirty. Well, unless you count the movie. Unless you count the second Fantastic Four movie, then you could say they done him dirty. But, like, no one has done, like, anything writer-wise to do anything, like, bad to Silver Surfer. Like, it's always been treated, like, with this major level of reverence. Like, people know, like, this is Stan's baby.
That is true. Like, I mean, that's true. I mean, in some cases, you know, he is done with respect. Like, everything you see with Surfer in, like, they write him respectful. Like, okay, yeah, this, you know, I remember, you know, Dan Slott even writing him. They gave him like a Doctor Who vibe, but still, it was the Surfer. Like, it wasn't taken as a joke. It was like, okay, it's just a different temperament to the Silver Surfer. So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. All that power, all of that just kind of deep thinking. And here's a guy, like, again, he's gone through a big change. And again, I feel like we keep connecting back to Donny Cates.
Mm-hmm.
Weird, right?
Right.
But now I think you could call him the Black Surfer.
Right. Yeah, he's had like a change. He's literally black now. He's like I guess you could say metallic, blackish, but yeah, he's still. But you know, like you said, you know, all that power, and you know, you think he would do this certain things with, you know, and then he doesn't. Like, you know, he's always questioning his existence. That's one of the things I do love about it. Is like, he always questions his existence. What role does he really play in the whole of the universe? You know, am I just a creation of Galactus, or am I more? You know, he's definitely a big philosopher. I definitely can agree with that. Indeed.
And his relationship with Galactus is pretty complex.
Yeah.
He's now like, before, well, until you know what happened to Galactus, basically, yeah, after Annihilation, him and Galactus had like a thing going on, like, whereas like, I'll let you go off and do your own thing, but like, when I need you, you better come calling, man.
Right. So,
yeah. It's a bit about my number two. So who's your number two?
That would be Richard Ryder Nova. He makes my number two. Like I said, been known about Nova. I read his first, you know, his comic, The Man Called Nova. I read it. I don't have it, but I have read it. And you know, you got to remember, this was the same guy. This is the same guy that created the likes of Cyborg. Marv Wolfman created Nova. And you know, Richard was young when he got the power. Yes. I mean, we're not gonna play idiot and be dumb here, guys. Yes, if you look at the origin of Nova, it's clear-cut origin of Green Lantern. You know, Richard finds an alien dying, takes the power. Same thing. What happened? Hal Jordan finds Abin Sur, you know, and gets the power ring. It's the same thing. But let's be honest, Marvel and DC have been copying each other for years. You know, so it ain't like, it's just how you present it. You know, let's just be honest. But you know, Nova, I love his nickname, the Human Rocket. It's like, yeah, this dude is basically a rocket. And you know, over time when he was with the New Warriors and how Night Thrasher used him, like, yeah, you're the powerhouse. You got so much power, you just don't know how to use it. And Night Thrasher was able to help him push that out, you know, get him, and you saw the gradual means of power start building with Richard. And even though, you know, he was still feeling like, I don't deserve this, you know, and I'm scared, you know. And that was one thing I did love about Richard's guys. Yeah, he was scared. He was very scared of this immense power. Like, you know, he was really scared. Even when he was with the New Warriors, like he he still felt like, I'm still scared. Like, I'm scared to go full out with this. Like, if I go full out, could I kill somebody? And, you know, when he finally learned, I think, like Multi said, most people probably jumped on him and really kind of gave him his respect was during the Annihilation Wave, which to me is probably one of the most underrated events, storylines in Marvel Comics. Like, it does not get talked about enough. And to me, I feel that's destined to be a movie or so. Like, I could have seen that as a movie.
Yeah. Or now I could see it as like something to do on Disney Plus as a mini-series.
Right. You know, but Richard earned his spot. Like, even when he got all the power and became the Nova Prime, you know, he still was scared, you know, but he found his courage, and, you know, he was like, okay. And yeah, he fought Annihilus, and that scene of him ripping Annihilus, it was just like, oh, Jesus. You know, it's like, yo. And then, of course, during Thanos Impervious, it was like he and Star-Lord supposedly died, but they just went into the Cancerverse. And of course, Star-Lord was able to come out first before Richard, but Richard has met his, I guess you could say, his disciple. He's met Sam Alexander. He harbors no grief against Sam. You know, he does think Sam needs a little bit more training, and this coming from Richard. But he has no harbor or anger towards him. He's now back out in space, you know, and, you know, with a character like that, you can't keep him on Earth for too long. They gotta go back and do what they do. And that's just it. You know, he's a good character. Do I want to see him MCU? Hell the fuck yeah, I do. I can't wait to hear they say Nova's coming. Phase 5, Nova. The man called Nova. I'm like, I'll piss my pants if I hear that.
Yeah, like, it makes sense. Like, the Nova Corps is wiped out, and it's, you know, now we can have Nova in here as the new guy to rebuild the Nova Corps in the MCU.
Yeah, like, yes, we had, yeah, like Tyson, you know, we had the Nova Corps, and they were more like a real police force. But we talked about this before, about like how maybe they didn't tap into the Nova Force yet. It was in that vault. You know, it was experimental, and then they were scared to use it, like a test pilot. Okay, now let's give it to them. But we know that the Nova Corps was wiped out. Then we heard Thanos say he wiped out Xandar. He wiped out that planet. That was the home planet of the Nova Corps.
Yeah, like, you could have the Nova Prime. It's in the helmet. Like,
yeah.
You saw Nova wearing the helmet.
Right. So we're down to our number ones, guys.
They show, like, a scene where Nova Prime shoots it off into space, and it just lands on Earth.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
So we're down to the number one, guys, and who is your number one?
My number one goes by 3 names. Beta Bill.
All right.
Yep. Beta Ray Bill is just a fun character who's recently been making a comeback. Everyone always got excited to see him, but, like, there was a time, like a long time, like for years, where no one was like, really? Beta Ray Bill? Who the hell's that? And that was funny. Like, it was always, well, it wasn't funny. It was more like, hey, so this character was a fan favorite. Where's he been? But now it's nice to see, like, writers treat this character with, like, a lot of reverence and a lot of fun. It's especially cool to see him, you know, treated, because a lot of people forget how powerful he is. Like, he's on Thor's level.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a guy who's been through a lot. He's lost his entire race. he tried to save what little he had of his people, but then only get devoured by Galactus. He's now lost his brother, his own oath brother betrayed him. So he keeps going.
Strong character, very strong-willed. I definitely will agree with you. Definitely, like, yeah, there were times where, you know, you say that name like who or what, but I think we both can agree Cates has done a great job writing him. So there's that name again, guys. You heard it, Z. So definitely, yeah. Old Horseface is up there, and I'm dying to see. I swear, like, if he shows up in Thor: Love and Thunder, I'm gonna be happy. I'm like, okay, that was a hidden. I swear, if he shows up, I don't care if it's just a cameo, because we know he's in the MCU. We know he's in. You know, we know he's there.
Yeah, and Thor's got his hammer.
Yeah,
Thor Max right now.
Right.
So, and remember, and another thing is, a lot of people forget that he and Lady Sif were a thing.
Yeah, him and it's funny because Sif has been with Thor and him. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what comic it was, but I think like Sif comes out of her bedroom and she's like, well, what, you know, what's going on? And then Beta Ray walks out and like the Warriors 3 are like, what? They were like, Sif, you didn't. And I'm like, really, Sif? I mean, I know Beauty is skin deep, but dude's got a horse face.
Yeah, I guess, you know, Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and it's just, I mean, how do you kiss that?
He's like a horse too.
Yeah.
I guess, like, with a horse face, he's probably got a horse, you know.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Oh, Jesus.
You're that bitch, Chris.
Well, we've seen Beta Ray Kin turn human. At one point, he was human when he was with a mega flight. He had a human form. Omega Flight. Yeah, how that didn't last long. But yeah, Horseface. I'm not joking about what I said when he had an Irish accent in the Silver Surfer cartoon. I'm dead serious about that.
Go to Disney Plus and watch the Silver Surfer cartoon right now.
Yeah, and his look, he had, the only way he was having these powers was he was in some kind of dream state, like some dream world. It was almost like virtual reality. That's where he was getting his powers from. It was weird.
The whole cartoon was weird.
Yeah, that cartoon was weird. But to me, guys, my number one does go to the Sentinel of the Spaceway, Silver Surfer. I've always thought he was a cool looking character. You know, I was like, it's a dude on a surfboard, like flying across in space or wherever. And yeah, the power cosmic flows through him. You know, Surfer is probably the most popular of Galactus's herald. You know, Galactus has had a lot of heralds, but he's like probably the most popular. Not only the most popular, the one that Galactus actually asked for him to return back to. Like, nobody else has done. He's never done that to anybody else. Not Frankie Ray Nova, not Airwalker, not Fire Lord, you know, Stardust, Terrax, you name it. He said, I need you back. The concept of Surfers, the one thing that I love the most is, like, here's a guy from a planet called Zenla. His name is Norrin Rad. First of all, I like the name Norrin. I thought that was a cool name. And you know, he gave up his life. He gave up. He said, he basically thought, okay, I'll do this, and what am I gonna do? I'm gonna take this guy to the most unpopulated planets ever, where he can feed off of it, nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets hurt. However, what happened when he was being turned to the Silver Surfer, it altered his mind. So he forgot everything that he had planned to do. And it wasn't until he met Elisa Masters that showed him the kindness and everything like that. And, you know, that was the whole concept of the master turning against his owner. Like, okay, I mean, the slave turned against the master. Like, yeah, okay, these people are worth saving. And there was even a point where Galactus bound him to Earth. Like, he could not leave Earth because you want to protect it so much. Okay, now you're stuck on it. Like, you can't leave it. And he kind of learned more, you know. A lot of the Marvel heroes, when they see him, you know, they're like, hey, Norrin, you know, hey, okay, respect. It's never like, oh, get out of here. It's more like caution, but it's always with respect.
Yeah. And if you guys remember, I didn't talk about this before, but if you guys remember, in that Superman Silver Surfer crossover, even Clark said, this dude could kill me if he wanted to.
That's right, there was a crossover. I mean, we've seen crossovers with the DC. I mean, they always seem that when DC crossover with Marvel, they always thought, okay, let's put the Green Lantern against Silver Surfer. There was a fight. They had a fight. It was Kyle versus Norrin, and Norrin didn't want to fight him. Norrin's like, we shouldn't fight.
I could kill you.
Yeah, it's like, and I love Kyle, and I'm looking at, and I'm like, Kyle, what are you doing? Like, he soups up his ring and makes like this giant armor. They clash into each other, and next you know, all you see was, Norrin just like almost like, you idiot, like, and Kyle on his surfboard. I mean, yeah, the Marvel vs. DC crossover was stupid because it was basically voting. You vote who wins. But overall, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Surfer could still beat a Green Lantern. I don't care which Green Lantern you use. He could beat him.
Yeah, and remember, he did cross over with Kyle before, right before Marvel vs. DC.
Yeah.
With Parallax and Thanos in it.
Right.
And there was also that Superman Silver Surfer crossover that had Nick Sixpitlick and Impossible Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in there, Clark said, I don't know him, but I have this feeling this guy is stronger than me.
It is what it is, Surfer, yeah. No, go ahead, what were you saying?
When Superman says, this guy could beat me, believe it.
Yeah, believe it. Surfer's definitely a major powerhouse, but the one thing I think both me and Multi love about him more is not just his powers. It's just the guy he's different because it is not about power. You hear Spidey talk about, great power and responsibility and stuff like that, which is true. This guy takes that quote, that Uncle Ben, to another level. Like, there have been many times I've seen people come to the Surfer and be like, can you bring this person back to life, please? And he's like, I'm sorry, but I refuse to do that. You can't do that. I remember Spider-Man, when Aunt May was shot and was dying before the Back to Black story. He went to Surfer and was like, please help her. Like, and he wanted to, but he knew that he couldn't, for the sake of just one life. He felt like he needed to uphold his standards. And I know some people may look at it like, oh, that's Surfer's a jerk for doing that. It makes some sense because also you bring her back, like, what happens again? If it happens again, what you're gonna come back to him? Like, there was a point to it that I loved. I was like, okay, I like that. Like, he didn't. And there've been a lot of things that Surfer has looked at. When he looks at humanity, he looks at it from a whole. The same way, I guess you could say, how Jor-El looked at humanity. hence the reason why he sent Clark to Earth. You know, and that's kind of how the way I look at it. Like, you know, Surfer, he is a philosopher. He has this mind where he can be the hero, but he's more about exploring and finding the why and everything. I mean, you guys understand what I mean, the why and everything, because that's the kind of way I look at Surfer in times like that. You know, he just feels that way. He really does. You know, he's had a cartoon. It wasn't that good. They went too soap opera-y with it, in my opinion, which they shouldn't, especially for a Saturday morning cartoon. No. He's been done live action, and they kind of did him dirty there. They did him dirty there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I did not mind Lawrence Fishburne's voice coming out of him at all. I was like, yeah, it works. You know, Mr. Fishburne has that voice. Okay. But now that the character is back home, I'm looking forward to seeing that character come back strong with a new actor. I still want practical effects. I don't want him being all CGI. I want practical effects. It works.
Yeah. And maybe we'll get maybe a post-credit scene of him just in Fantastic Four just zipping across the cosmos.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or who knows? Maybe he'll show up in Guardians. It's now it's possible. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Well, guys, this was fun. We gave you our top 10 favorite Marvel cosmic heroes, guys. You guys I'm looking forward to hearing who's yours. There are plenty that we didn't touch, you know, but who knows? Everybody's list is different. I'm looking forward to seeing the choices you guys make. So, and once again, I'd like to thank Multi for coming on and doing this again.
Yeah, no problem. I love doing this. I'm glad you asked me.
Yeah, this was fun. We'll do another one, guys. We were talking before we started. We'll do another one. You know, I still got a couple of lists but to break out. Hell, I know a lot of you still want to hear me do my favorite G.I. Joe members. I've heard people saying, do your favorite Transformers. I'm like, okay, I could do that.
Well, would you Autobot and Decepticon? Would you make it just Autobot and Decepticon, or would you divide the list?
I would divide it. I'll go favorite Autobots and favorite Decepticons if I did that. I know people's do your favorite weapons in comics, and I'm like, oh gee, okay, that's a good one. So yeah, there's a couple of lists I have, you know, to work on and think about, and I would be happy to have, you know, anybody besides just Multi. If you feel you want to be a guest on one of these, be my guest. Hit me up and we'll make it happen. But I do love doing it with my bro here. You know, it's always fun to collab and do things like that. This is the second time in a long time we have collabed. So yeah, this was fun indeed.
Yeah, it was nice to have the World Spiders back.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's just, you know, Marvel. Like I said before, guys, you know, the Marvel cosmic side is still really untapped or touched to its full potential. You know, everything mostly stays on Earth for the most part, and if they do, they go to different areas. You know, but you know, with the cosmic side, you know, Sword is back, and you know, all these, they're bringing out stuff like that, and you know, I have the new Sword comic. I haven't read it yet. I haven't read it, but I know a lot of people enjoyed it, even though now it's mainly full of mutants, but it's Sword. You know, Abigail Brand is still there, so it's cool. But yeah, you know, the cosmic universe is still untapped, untouched too much. And even in the MCU, it's not really fully tapped. You know, we've seen the Thanoses and and his disciples. We've seen the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Collector. We've seen the Celestials to a degree, and we're gonna get more from the Eternals and people like that. But there's still untapped potential with the cosmic side. You know, if there's a character on here that you thought should have been on the list, that's your list. Once again, I repeat once again, everybody's list is different. There are certain characters their powers may have come from the cosmic side, but I don't necessarily look at them as cosmic. For example, I'll give you an example right here, right now. As much as I love the character, I don't look as Darkhawk as a cosmic hero. I look at him more as a Earth-based hero with powers that come from space. You see where I'm going at with that, guys? You know, it wasn't until recently Chris, that's his name, Chris Powell, started going out into space after when we finally realized where it really came from, you know, and everything like that. So yeah, that's how I look. That's how I look at it. We're talking about characters that are always almost out in space, majority of the time. So, you have anything else you want to say?
No, I think we covered it all. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yep. So, guys, once again, thank you for coming through for the opinion spot. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave your list, your top 10 in the comment section below. And if there's any time like I said before, guys, if you want to put in a request for an opinion spot segment in the future, feel free to put it in the comment section down below and hashtag it opinion spot so I'll know, and I'll star it and I'll remember it. But in the meantime, guys, this was the last opinion spot for the month, for the year, this shitty year, and I'm ready for it to be over. And other than that, you guys take care. I will see you guys next time. This is the opinion spot where your opinion matters. But this is Mr.Multiverse. I'll leave a link in the description of his channel. Go subscribe. He's good people. And you'll be amazed at his big wall of Funko Pops. I'm not even joking about that. I'm going to keep saying that. But guys, you guys take care. Deuces.